I've always been a fan of Drew McIntyre, but after listening to him on Impulsive, I think it's pretty safe to say, Lauren, Drew McIntyre is now number 2 on my list of favorite wrestlers, passing Kevin Owens.
Why?
Drew McIntyre went on Impulsive, okay? Just shredded up the roster. Said that the WWE roster looks like they've been working at the drive-thru at a Burger King. Says none of these guys look like wrestlers anymore. I listened to it. I was like, tell me when he's lying.
Yeah.
But I'll go further than what Drew McIntyre said. Let's bring AEW into this thing. Most of these guys look like they could work at a Hot Topic rather than being the larger-than-life gladiators like, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant, Brock Lesnar. Those were wrestlers. What we get today are gymnasts who are masquerading as wrestlers. So, Lauren, I know you haven't heard the interview, but do you agree with Drew McIntyre that half of the roster, let's say 50% of the WWE roster, looks like they could work at a fast food restaurant?
Yes.
Right? I mean, I've taken so much shit over the past 5 years from the IWC because the IWC absolutely hate this argument, and the argument they immediately try to make back is times have changed. But here's the problem. Times haven't really changed. It's just the internet's perception has changed. So all these guys on TikTok, all these guys on the internet, they all want to be professional wrestlers. Deep down inside, secretly, that's what they wanted to do because they didn't do anything else athletic in their life, okay? So they all want to be. So they need to see the Darby Allins. They need to see the Ricochets, guys that they can look in a mirror and they can see that, and that helps them believe that they could be, at least at some point, if they went and worked out, they could be professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I think that the casual fan, the grandmas, the kids, the me and yous that casually watch wrestling, we still want our wrestlers to look like Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Rusev, right? These
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, definitely, right? That's one reason I can't connect with the AEW product is I look at it and I go, I'm 6'3" and 300 pounds right now. I can slap the shit out of a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
You know?
So another thing that it brings to mind is that look at those bigger guys. What is the median age of them? They're all older
definitely.
wrestlers, which is why we've talked a couple of times about how the guys have an older age and they're still in it and everything. I think it's because they are that larger than life size and things like that. And a lot of the new ones aren't at that level yet.
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is the mentality that these older guys have that it means something to take care of your body. And I know I'm one to fucking talk, right? But it does mean, hey, look, I'm trying to fucking work out, okay? Going to the gym, swimming, doing my thing, trying to get back in shape. But I think it means something to hear Drew McIntyre talk. This is a job. Mm-hmm. And part of my job description is to look like a fucking warrior, a Scottish warrior, right? And I think that that's lost because I'll even go one step farther. I used to be so strict on the height thing, right? Mm-hmm. That if you're under 6'2", you're too small. I'll take a step back from that argument, okay? But if you're under 6'2", you need to look like Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
that's
I forget
the problem.
that I don't know how tall he is, but
not very tall.
In my mind, he's a big man.
If you're under 6'2", you need to look like Braun Breaker. You need to look impressive. I'll go one step farther. CM Punk, right? CM Punk has vastly improved his physical look.
Yeah.
He looks like a wrestler now. There was a time where CM Punk was scrawny, and it works for certain guys. I'm not saying nobody can do it. But when you look across the roster and it's 5'10", 5'11", 170 pounds, 160 pounds, when you start looking at Darby Allin, who's the size of a 7th grader, it makes me question, how can you, the spectacle. Now, undercard is a different thing, right? The main event should always be Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Rusev, Sheamus, these guys, right?
Yeah.
But undercard, I'm okay. If you want to put Ricochet on midway through the card, that's cool, right? But to me, you still, when you're talking about casual wrestling fans, they still have a belief. when you say the word wrestler, the first thing that pops into your head is not the Young Bucks.
No.
It is a Drew McIntyre. It's a Hulk Hogan, right? It's this, you think of the guy, the bodybuilder build.
Yeah.
And you can say it's outdated. Like, the IWC can argue until their fucking face is blue that this is an outdated concept. It's just not, though. It's just not. It's not. Like, I was watching SmackDown, okay? Mm-hmm. And it ended with, it was a tag team match between Andrade, I want to call him Dragon Lee all the time, but it's Penta's brother, Ray Phoenix. Okay, so it's Andrade and Ray Phoenix on one side, and on the other side it was Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
Now, Joe Gacy, a little bit, he's a huskier guy, big fellow. Dexter Lumis is a guy who,
he bulked up a little bit,
right? No,
not
a little bit. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Dexter Lumis is a big guy. But, at the end of this match, Eric Rowan comes into the ring. This is the big red bearded motherfucker.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that guy is the spectacle. When he starts clotheslining people and laying them out, like, that's when it got exciting for me. It was like, the real monster is here now.
Yeah.
And he makes the story better and everything comes together. I'll take you earlier in the night with all the Samoans. They're all bigger guys. Even Solo Sikoa, who may not be so defined, has a big guy look. Yeah. Right? And now there's I don't want to get this wrong. It's like Talatanga.
Yeah.
He's the big, like 6'9" one. He's huge. But he just, like, they make wrestling better. They're a spectacle. It's why I don't understand why they can't get Omos over.
True. Whatever happened to him?
It's just bad gimmicks. I think they're talking about sending him to Mexico. They're sending him around the world because those people appreciate that style of wrestling more. I think Triple H just has to figure out how to make Omos work in WWE because he absolutely has all the tools. Just stop making him a monster and humanize him a little bit. One thing that Drew McIntyre said that I found extremely interesting in this interview is, and it's something that goes very against what I believe.
Okay.
But I can take what he said and dissect it and explain why it works. So Drew McIntyre said, wrestling is on every week of the year. That we have grown to become bigger than gimmicks, bigger than like one-dimensional gimmicks. He said, we think in 3 dimensions now.
Okay, what does that mean?
That Drew McIntyre doesn't have to be a Scottish warrior. Drew McIntyre can be Drew McIntyre, and that should be interesting enough for people who watch. I agree when your name is Drew McIntyre. When you're 6'6", you're Scottish, you're built like a poster of like Mount Olympus, right?
Yeah.
That works. When you're a highly intelligent human being like Drew McIntyre, extremely smart, extremely witty, a troll, one would even say, right? That character works. The problem is, Drew, the only thing I'm going to disagree with you, this doesn't work for people who have no fucking personality as a human being. Those people need a gimmick.
True.
Right? So Drew McIntyre has a great personality. When you hear him talk, you're going to fall in love with him after this interview. Talks about his wife, talks about just being a troll and staying in character. Like, he talks about all this stuff, and it's great. It's absolutely great. Great personality, great mentality, great everything.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for everybody. It only works if you're interesting. So when you then get somebody who has no personality, they have to have a gimmick. They need to be something over the top, something one-dimensional, until they can grow into whatever that is.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I get it.
But it's a great interview.
What would you say as somebody who has done that? Like,
done what?
Like, gone from like no personality to
Liv Morgan.
True.
Perfect example.
Solo
right?
Sikoa kind of feels like that to me. I didn't necessarily love him at first.
Liv Morgan was somebody who needed a one-dimensional character, and she got it. She got put into the Rhea Ripley love triangle. That was a one-dimensional. She became the crazy girl. That was Liv Morgan's gimmick. Then she got more camera time. She got on TV. She got comfortable. Now she doesn't need it. Now Liv Morgan, I just look at her and go, oh, she's one of the best. Whereas 2 years ago, I was talking about Liv Morgan like she needed to go to NXT.
Yeah, I remember.
To get run. But that is, to me, that's the case of needing that one dimension to graduate into being more interesting. I think.
True.
I understand 100% what Drew McIntyre is talking about. I get it. Like, being able to be, but he thinks 3-dimensionally. Like, he's one step ahead. I think it's tougher for certain guys to be, it's like Austin Theory. And I don't know Austin Theory's personality, so I don't want to talk like I'm talking bad about Austin Theory. But when he had the cell phone, he was so interesting to so many people, right?
I loved him.
Biggest bad guy in the business at one point. You took away what made him, and you did go, okay, now we're presenting just Austin Theory. Another just generic white guy, which nothing against that, but you have to do something to stand out, and there was nothing for him to stand on.
True.
It's that gimmick that gets him over. And maybe eventually just being Austin Theory is enough, but I think early on you need that dimension. And that's the other thing that I don't think Drew McIntyre really kind of placed credit on was Vince McMahon presented Drew McIntyre as the chosen one, as the Scottish warrior. He graduated into who he is today, which is he's kind of, like the troll.
Yeah, well, because if he just came in as Drew McIntyre, he's just another big guy.